Good morning, everyone. My name is High Priestess Ishara. Happy 11/11/2018. Today is going to be a Circle of Fire, the third installment in my Sexual Interlude series, which is my Cosmic Family jump offs. Now, the definition of it sounds like it as it is, but I bet you people will still misunderstand the title. I try to keep the titles as simple as possible. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is High Priestess Ishara. I am headmaster and master of ceremonies within Tantric Temple of Alchemy, a spiritual consulting temple that help clients connect with self through sexual energy, which is basically, in my opinion, creative magic, your creative life force. And there's many ways you can tap into that and make a real difference in your life. So please feel free to check out my business page on Tantric Temple of Alchemy on Facebook. I am Master of Ceremonies, High Priestess Ishara. Now, today's Circle of Fire is my Cosmic Family Jump-Offs within my sexual series. And within this video, I'm going to be sharing with you cosmic relations I've had with actual people. If you check the other two videos, they were non-physical people. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my cosmic family jump-offs that came through physical people. And what cosmic family jump-offs are, they're like reunions of old etheric connections you had before you came into this world. So these people, I should say these energies that are actually hosting and living in human beings, purposely come into your life to help you, specifically if you are going through the awakening or if you are focused on your third eye upliftment and enrichment. And these physical avatars, these humans that come into your life, are, in my opinion, special blessings. And specifically with the cosmic family jump-offs, they're actually like affirming interludes that you can actually have the potential to gain from if you approach the connection or the meeting in a particular way. Now, a lot of people lose their opportunities of growth with their jump-offs because they are focused on more of the eternal exchange, I should say the external exchange, or the epidural, the front part of the relationship, and not looking at the internal, the back part of the relationship. But because my perspective on life is a little bit different, I've always approached my interconnections with humans on a different level. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone who is watching this exclusive Circle of Fire on my Cosmic Family Jump-Off. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I've lived a very unique life, and I know for a fact I'm not the only one. So I wanted to make sure I put out there on YouTube a behind the scenes, if you will, perspective on exchanging energy with your cosmic family. Sometimes it ends up wrong, again, because of the misconceived notions, because of the egos, because of the judgment, because of time, because of the busy lives. We sometimes don't get the opportunity to be with particular people that we meet for a long period of time. And even within your cosmic family, there's some cosmic families that you actually stay with for long periods of time. Again, all situation varies. Viewer's discretion is advised. Viewer discretion is advised. I may curse. And there may be sexual content. So if you're a kid, skedaddle. Now, I want to talk about real quick about my different cosmic families, because they will play a part in how I break down the cosmic jump off connections. There's been many cosmic family members that I've encountered in my life. And to be honest with you, I can honestly say that every single person I've met in my life has been a cosmic family connection. I've attuned to the point where I see that every person I've met has been a connection in some shape or fashion. And I can give you some great examples, and most of these are the males. You know, I didn't include the female cosmic connections. Most of these are the males. Now, when I was young, there was a guy by the name of Chadwick. And Chadwick was a dark chocolate brother who was super nice, super kind. But he used to be a pimp. He used to sell bitches. I didn't find that out till like later that he was a pimp, like a couple years later after our first encounter. After our first couple of encounters, I should say. And Chadwick was super nice, and we always had a rapport with each other. We always clicked. I remember once going to his house, and I met his mother, and his mother did not like me. You could tell from the stank on her. She just kept it moving. It was all good. But you could tell that he had gone through some things, just like I've gone through some things. And I didn't have too many friends at the time. And Chadwick gravitated towards me and was okay with my happy-go-lucky, clowny self. And it was a beautiful experience. The last time I saw Chadwick was when he came to my apartment in New York before I moved to Hawaii to hang out. He had just came back from Atlanta, Georgia, pimping some hoes or whatever. And then the last time I saw Chadwick was when we were supposed to spark a blunt with each other and catch up. And then I went to the store to go get the blunt and left. I think it was the blunt wraps on the table. He had the weed, I had the blunt wraps. And when I came back from the store, he was gone. And so was the blunt wraps that I had just purchased. And I haven't spoken to him since. Still, it was a good connection. And then there was Shore, my favorite lockdown connection. I dealt with a lot of issues, back in the day. So most of my relationships have been with thuggies. And because of my background, I kind of gravitated to the thugs, to the roughnecks. And I met Shore. It was so weird how I met Shore. I met Shore while he was incarcerated, and I actually did 3 years with him. But then the relationship changed after he got out, and I just wasn't feeling satisfied with being with the guy in New Jersey and me being in New York at the time. But that still was a beautiful lesson I learned. He taught me that, what did Shore taught me? Shore taught me that a guy can see my deep side. And Chadwick taught me that, oh shit, I could hang out with a guy and him actually vibrate with me on a comprehension level, because most guys didn't get me. And most guys really didn't interest me at that time. When I knew Chadwick when I was younger, most guys I wasn't really interested in, but I was interested in Chadwick. I was interested in his dark skin and his lean physique, you know. And Shore I never met, so that was a complete etheric connection because we only corresponded through letters, and I was completely in love with Shore before the first year. And I was sad when we separated because I'm the one who broke up with him. Last time I spoke to Shore, he was dating a girl he met and was about to have a baby. Now, there was also Lawrence. Now, Lawrence was another guy who just popped into my life where I didn't have too many friends. I wasn't really doing too much. And I really didn't have like any like connections or anything. And Lawrence was this caramel toffee fade brother, short, just did about a 10-year bid. He went from juvie into jail. Shout out to Lawrence, shout out to Chadwick, shout out to Shore. You guys all taught me something and you made me a better woman. Lawrence was a badass, okay? What does this have to do with my cosmic jump offs? These are all of my cosmic jump offs. But before I can tell you how they jumped me off, I have to tell you who they are. Now, Lawrence was a renegade. He was a renegade. And the only reason I met Lawrence was because I knew his grandmother. His grandmother lived across the street from my mother's house. And at the time, I just had my son. He was like a super baby, raising him on my own since I found out he was pregnant. And I wasn't really dealing with no one. I was taking care of my son, living at my mom's house, being a mother. You know, I think I was going to school at the time, college. It took me like 6 years to finish my 2-year diploma in college. I'm not that quick. I'm a genius, but an artistic genius. And the first time before I saw Lawrence, I remember his grandmother. Sheba! How you doing, girl? And I'm like, I'm fine, Miss B. I'm fine. How are you? She was this old woman who lost her husband years ago, and she was just taking care of the house by herself. You know, sometimes her daughter would come, which is Lawrence's mother, to visit her, but it was usually her on her own. You gotta meet my net. You gotta meet my grandchild, Lawrence. Gotta meet my grandchild, Lawrence. I think Lawrence is kind of connected to me too. You gotta meet my grandchild, Lawrence. He just got out of jail. Shout out to Miss B. Shout out to Miss B. The last time I spoke to Miss B, Miss B died. Rest in peace, Miss B. Miss B was a gangster. Rest in peace, Miss B. Rest in peace. Like, rest in joy and in prosperity. She died because her daughter has the house now. I remember before I left, her daughter was living in the house and Miss B was long gone and passed. I miss Miss B. Okay. So then I was like, okay, I look forward to meeting him. When this man came outside, Lawrence, his face was cute. You know niggas try to fuck him when he was in jail. You know dudes tried to test him in jail because he had that baby face. When I saw Lawrence, I was like, hello, Lawrence. I found out later that his mother and his grandmother, which is Miss B, told him as soon as he got out of jail, that girl across the street, you don't mess with her. I found that out later. I found that out later. I found that out later. They said, I found out they told him, the mother and Mrs. B, oh, that orange juice is making my stomach hurt. They told him to stay away from me. And he would see me with my son, and he would always be nice. Matter of fact, he bought my son, I know my son don't remember, but he bought my son his first pair of sneakers. And I thought that was the nicest gift. I didn't find out till later that, he robbed. I didn't find out till later that he robbed like weed spots and shit for a living. Still, I love the fuck out of that man. Still love him. Still fucking love him. And we just had a rapport with each other. We just had a connection with each other. We just vibed with each other. And even though he was a bad boy doing bad things, and I was that good girl doing the good things, I was your stereotypical good girl. Listened to my parents, went to school, never disobeyed them, and things of that nature. And Lawrence was just cut from a different cloth from me, and he kind of played off with me that polarity of like a twin flame gone awry. You know what I mean? Like a twin flame gone awry. And Lawrence was always sweet to me, even though he'd, run up in whatever car he stole or got and, went out with the hood rats in the area. Yeah, he fucked with the hood rats in the area, whatever. But I still loved him, and I knew the type of life I lived, it wouldn't be like enough for him because he was a wild child. I remember looking into his eyes one night while we were all drinking, the people my age, and the other individuals on the block. We were just hanging out at one of the other people's house. I believe it was the house 2 houses down from his grandmother's house. Where my girl Michelle lived. She was a homegirl of mine. Shout out to Michelle. God bless Michelle. She's alive. May she be well with whatever she's doing. And I remember him pulling me to the side and saying to me, yo, let's just go away together, yo. He was like, let's just go away together. Let's just fuck this shit and go away together. And I remember fear running up in me and telling me, you got a baby. You can't be going nowhere with this motherfucker. You got a kid to take care of. He don't have a job. He want to take you somewhere away. No, tell that motherfucker no. So he said, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Let's go away. And you should have saw the want in his eyes. And I didn't realize and register the want in his eyes when he first said it. Because I was like, stop playing. Stop playing. I didn't think he was being honest about that shit. And then he was like, here. And he gave me this beautiful silver necklace. And it was so pretty. And then I took it and showed it to Michelle and was like, look at this pretty necklace he gave me. Isn't this beautiful? And she was like, girl, he stole that shit. It was like, that's when I found out what he did. And he was like, she was like, he stole that shit. And I was like, and I was so goody back then. I thought it was wrong that he took it from somebody and gave it to me. And thinking about it now, if I had a second chance, I would have kept it. I would have fucking kept it. sorry for denying it. I should have kept it. And I should have went with you. Even if it fucked up, I had a home to go back to, you know. I should have took caution to the wind and I should have went with you. So I gave back the necklace and I told him, no, you stole this. I'm not going to keep this. And I gave it back to him. A couple of days passed with days of seeing him pick up the local hood rat to go hang out with him. I still, like a little pet dog, every time he came out of his grandmother's house, looking for him. I'm one of those hearts where when I love with my all. I can't do half-ass. And I believe that's why I'm not married to a wealthy man at the moment, because I can't half-ass. It's either I'm all in or I'm not. And I remember the sweetest moment we shared, the sweetest moment. Like, people were scared of my mom, so not too many people came in my gate, you know, and fucked with me too tough, even as an adult with the child. You know, I was 32 or 33 with my son, you know, so I remember him coming into my mother's house where I lived, which was the basement at the time with my son. My mom was like, you and your baby can have the basement, you know, so you could have space, you know, take care of him. And I remember him coming into the basement and I was like, yeah, my mom wasn't home at the time, thank God. And I was like, you can't stay too long, my mom. And he just came to visit. He just walked in. It's like, I didn't ask him to come in. He just walked in, that motherfucker. I didn't ask Lawrence to come in. He just walked in and I was like, hey, what's up? Come on. I think I had to give him something and had to go in the house. And I didn't have my son at the time because he wasn't with me at the moment. And then we went downstairs in the basement and I most likely gave him what he was looking for or whatever. And I was sitting on my bed and Lawrence gave me the sweetest kiss I've ever experienced in my life. And I can count on my hands and toes how many physical humans I've fucked. So it was special to me, right? And I was like, okay, I gotta give you the picture, because what made it sweet was the whole thing. And this was a perfect sign that he was part of my cosmic family. He gently grabbed my neck. And because he was shorter and I was sitting on the bed, it just happened so quick. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was so ignorant and naive back then. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? But I let it rock. I let it ride. He grabbed my neck. And then he softly kissed me on my lips. I swear to God, like a fucking movie. It was so beautiful. It was so fucking beautiful. And I loved it, Lawrence. And I loved it, and I loved it, and I loved it. Lawrence died. Lawrence actually died on my birthday. I remember waking up on my birthday and I'm like, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. Forgive me, I don't cry, but I'm going through an indoctrination and I must, because I don't cry. I remember waking up saying, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. I was so excited. I don't remember what I was going to do, but I was super excited. And I remember going to my girlfriend Michelle's house, the same house we were at where he tried to give me the necklace, the same yard where he was like, yo, let's run away together. Because I didn't know what he was doing. He lived his life. I lived mine. I had a son to take care of. And I didn't find out all of the information about him until after he died. And I was like have you seen Lawrence? To my girlfriend. I acted like a little schoolgirl with him, and I was in my 30s. Like, he made me feel so, he just lit up my sexual kundalini energy, and he ignited in me. He jumped off in me that want, that desire, that need for that connection. And that's what cosmic family jump offs do. They jump you off and they start you off within an intense feeling. You know, me and Chadwick never slept with each other, but we spoke with each other. And that was a time when I wasn't really sexually active. When he stole my blunt, that's when I was sexually active, because I knew Chadwick from when I was younger, before I was like majorly sexually active, because I wasn't sexually active till 21. And our simple conversations ignited my sexual kundalini rising within my womanly triple goddess energy. I was like, wow. So when I found out Lawrence died was through my girlfriend, Michelle. And I was like, have you seen Lawrence? I haven't seen him, because I wanted to see him to tell him it was my birthday. And she was like, you didn't hear, girl? You didn't hear? And I was like, hear what? She was like, he was trying to rob a stash house, and the guys who owned the stash house shot him. And the guy that he was robbing the stash house with just left him there. Okay, Lawrence shot the stash house's dog. Okay, you know, and I guess that got the owner upset. But his friend left him for dead, and he died. I was so angry about that. I was so sad about that, because I regretted not experiencing with him all of the intimate more moments we could have spent that we didn't spend. So this is why I live my life to the fullest. This is why when I want something, I don't care who you are, what you are, when you are, I will ask it outright. So there's never any regrets. Lawrence is the only male regret I have in my life. And that was a hard, dark lesson to learn. Because even with Chadwick, I went to the limits with Chadwick when it came to what I desired from him during our connection. So these cosmic family jump offs, they're important lessons that you should be learning from and growing from and experiencing from. Because if you don't, then you may lose out on opportunities to build with these physical people that come into your life before they're gone, whether it's death, whether it's them leaving, whether it's them disappearing or choosing to stay away. You need to live your life truthfully and wholeheartedly at full force, full life force. And he's the only guy I've ever regretted not being 100% forward with him. A lot of regrets with Lawrence. I feel like we didn't have enough time. I feel like we didn't do a lot of the things we could have did, especially because of my fear. Because most of the time I saw him when he was outside of his grandmother's house, I'd be peering through the window because I'd be too scared to approach him. I was so scared to approach him and interact with him. And he was the one that kept on pushing. And come to find out after his death that he was really sad. He was really sad. And now I understood after his death why he wanted to get away with me. He wanted to do that last act to see if maybe it could change his mind on how he was living, because he was living reckless, He was living reckless, and I was oblivion to all of it. I was too busy raising my son. So when opportunities come your way, reach out and grab it, and never second guess yourself, and never have regrets. And as a high priestess, I believe in living life full force, through the light and through the dark. And even if you get turned down, which I do a lot, I get turned down a lot, but it's cool. Even getting turned down, at least, you tried, you tried, you've tried, you know what I mean? Shit. I've asked men for babies, and that's gonna go to our next soul connection, family, cosmic, my next cosmic family jump off. I'm gonna refer to him as my chubby atheist. My chubby atheist. My chubby atheist was a lifeguard, and my son initiated a connection with this guy. And I didn't know he was an atheist till after we separated for a couple of years and then got back together again, and found out later he was an atheist. But my chubby atheist was a lifeguard, and my son was doing something he was not supposed to be doing at the pool. And he had to reprimand my son. And he was chubby, and even though I wasn't really attracted to chubby men, I like men with nice physiques, I was attracted to my chubby atheist. And even when we reconnected, he always thought his weight was a problem. And it was never a problem for me, because when I saw him, it was automatic wanting. And he was a sexual healing for me within my cosmic family jump offs. All of them were sexual healings, but just on different levels, different beings of living and breathing. But he was an actual sexual dick and pussy healing opportunity for me. And by the time I met him, I knew how to interact sexual rituals and tapping into my healing and my self-healing. So when I first met him, I was enamored. I was like, oh, he's cute. And somehow I got his number. I don't know if I asked for it or whatever. I was like, damn, he's not going to want to fuck with this single mom. I'm just going to get the number anyway. And I got his number. He totally disappeared, or I guess we got busy and separated. And then I realized, I had an epiphany. I want to spend my birthday with him. And I don't even remember what year of my birthday it was, but I wanted to spend a birthday with him. And he was down, and I spent a birthday with him. We went to the strip club. It was super fun. We saw booties bounce up and down. It was fucking awesome, And then we went to go get something to eat. And then he visited me at my mother's house. Again, karmic wise, everything was aligned, because my mother's house is never empty. But again, like Lawrence, the house was empty. I think my son was romping around with my mother and my family at the time, because they knew it was my birthday or whatever. So they went on their own trip, and I was on my own. So we went to my mother's house, and the house was to ourselves. And then Spirit said, you need to heal. Have sex with your chubby atheist in your room that you were raised in. I wasn't there anymore. I was in the basement. So I did, and it was beautiful. And I never heard from him again. Never. Fast forward to years later, when I decided to leave New York and move to Hawaii, and grow my business out here. He came to me during a actual masturbation session that I was having. And long story short, I climaxed with the thought of him. And so I called him. Long story short, he ended up coming to visit. But what I regret about that cosmic jump off is this: be careful when you perform magic to acquire things. Because to be honest, I asked Lawrence when I thought of him during that masturbation session and we started talking with each other. I asked Lawrence, after years of not speaking to him, for him to give me his seed and have a baby with him. Because at the time I wanted to have a child. Long story short, he was not with it because his mind was worried about bills and the baby taken care of. I'm like, Lawrence, you can impregnate me and leave the following day, and this baby will want for nothing, like my son wanted for nothing. I'm a high priestess. What I need comes without a problem. He didn't get that, and I figured out why, because he's an atheist. So then, but he's a spiritual atheist because he was in my car when he finally got to Hawaii to come visit me. And yes, we tapped each other's asses. It was beautiful. And again, my son wasn't home at the time. I was in transition to moving to a new place. So my son was with my mother having vacation time or whatever. So I had the house to myself. He came to visit me. And what I learned from that cosmic connection was never really force energies to come to you, because I kind of did a ritual for him to come to me, because when he told me that he didn't want to have a kid with me, I was like, okay, cool, done, squashed. But then I kind of did a ritual to get him over here because the connection with him as a soulmate was so strong. I just didn't want to have a baby with just anybody. I wanted a Pacific energy to exchange with me this next child. I wanted to have a purposeful child because my first child was with a demonic connection. You know, my son's father was a demonic connection. I talk about him in another installment of videos, another installment within this series. He was a surprise. He was, I guess some people would say accident, but I don't believe in accidents. So when I finally adjusted that I was having a child, it was all good. But he was a surprise. My first son, my one and only heir, he was a surprise for me, and I've been raising him alone ever since. So when my chubby atheist said no, he didn't want to have one, or didn't want to have one at the moment when I wanted it now, and he was like, let's talk about it, I guess you could say, and I was like, no, I want it now. And he was like, no. And let me tell you something. My chubby atheist, he was a traveler. He enjoys traveling to different locations or whatever. So I knew it wouldn't be a problem for him to come visit me and knock me up real quick, so then he can go back to his workaholic self in New York. But I think that was the subconscious problem. He knew that I wouldn't really depend on him to take care of our child. I would just raise our child, period. End of story. But we broke up, meaning we stopped speaking to each other. And I got mad at him, but still did the ritual anyway. And we started talking again after a space of not speaking to each other. And the second time we spoke, he booked that flight and he came through. He booked that flight and he came through just like I wanted. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Even though I totally believe we didn't have sexual intercourse enough to visit, but he's a chubby baby and he was tired or whatever, it's cool, but the times we did have was very beautiful. Didn't get pregnant. And that was the end of that. We still speak on occasion, my soulmate and I, but he is definitely a chubby atheist. Now, keep in mind these cosmic family jump-offs will come in many shapes and forms. Okay? They will come within your friends. They will come within your family. They will come within your lovers. They will come within strangers. They will come within that attraction from that person that comes out of nowhere. They'll also come anytime, any place, on the phone, because you can feel vibes on the phone. I had that phone vibe with Shore, because remember, I never met Shore. It was just pure etheric energy, just letters and phone calls and exchange back and forth with energy, and I learned again that there are some men out there that will understand the deep layers of the triple goddess. And also you'll feel sometimes multi levels of comprehension with that exchange, with that cosmic family jump off, So know that the opportunities are endless within this low frequency realm. And if you utilize your third eye more than your low frequency ego judgment energy sources, then you can really reap high benefits of any and all exchanges. Okay? And keep in mind that Tantric Temple of Alchemy can help you do just that by tapping into your multi-level lives using creative sexual force. Sexual energy is not just fucking and sucking. It's creative magic, creative action. And it works. Now, also keep in mind that there also are signs, and these signs will give you indications that you are dealing with the cosmic family jump off. Sometimes there's familiarities with that person. I know you. Do I know you? Where I know you from? Also, you'll have connections that may actually put you in a position where you have to face your fears, because when I bumped into my chubby atheist, I found out later I didn't remember how big he was the first time, because that was a healing session I went through with him the first time. The second time was a little bit more cardinal, and the spiritual connection that was an affirmation that we were supposed to meet was the first time we got together sexually, it was my birthday. And then the last time we got together, it was his birthday. The synchro destinies will show themselves to you and will help you understand if that interaction was meant to be. Now, you can also, if you vibrate high enough, to be in the knowing. Even though I knew I kind of pushed my chubby atheist to come back to me, I knew that I needed him to yet again give me some sexual healing. I needed that. And because I was on a hiatus of about, how long was I in Hawaii? A year and some change of actually not being with anyone. I've spent long stilts, long time periods, not getting any, whether because of I'm disinterested or because I was in hibernation or the lack of men out there that were actually awakened or even comprehended who and what the fuck I was. And I think that's why me and the atheist didn't work, because as an atheist, and even as me sharing with him the signs, he didn't understand who I was. And I showed him real signs, like outside of epiphanies, visions, and telling him the truth. I remember his baby mama's his baby mama's baby coming to me. And I remember waking up from a dream, and I remember them telling me, ask him, ask him, ask him. So I asked him, I said, do you have a kid? And he was like, wait a minute, how'd you know that shit? I was told to ask you, do you have a kid? And come to find out, the story was he got a girl pregnant. She said it was his. She didn't believe him. I'm sorry, he didn't believe her. And she ended up not keeping the baby. I think it was lost. The baby was lost or something, but she didn't have the baby. And I told him straight out, well, don't ever think that shit again. That was your kid. I was told. I don't remember what I was told, but I was told. Okay? So he had signs of how deep our connection was, but how deep our connection was, but still he decided to step away, which is cool because I decided to step away too. Now, you have to keep in mind there is a feeling that happens when you connect with a cosmic family jump off. Because again, I call them jump offs because they jump start some type of ignition, some type of growth or learning or healing within your atmosphere if you use them correctly. If you're just dating to date, then you wouldn't be able to reap the benefits of your cosmic family jump offs. Now, keep in mind that your cosmic jump off family will ignite within your pineal gland. It will ignite your kundalini energy to rise to your pineal gland, and it will touch the Abdullah Amblangada. Wait, Abdullah Amblangada. Abdullah Amblangada. Abdullah Amblangada. That word is crazy. Abdullah Amblangada. Abdullah Amblangada. And you can have these rises of healing and of light and of awakening by doing something as connecting with the right person and strategically executing the exchange for your growth and your good. And even though he didn't understand me, I love and give love to my chubby atheist. I hope he's happy. I hope he's prosperous. And I hope he doesn't work too hard. These connections, these affirming intuitions, these reunions of growth with these individual avatars will allow you to have potential rapid healing processes, rapid healing moments and growth. Again, if you utilize the energies correctly. Now, the meta signs are, like I said before, the familiarity, the speed of the exchange, the intensity of the exchange, the synchrodestiny moments that happen over and over again if you're paying attention of the exchange. When you think about that person, does something good happen? When you say that person's name, does your do you have like a soul orgasm that happens within your third eye? Does your third eye squirt? When you have visions of that person, do you react to it in an intense way? In an intense way. These are all signs that you are totally connected to your cosmic family jump off, and you should utilize it for your good. It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be with the person, warning, warning. It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be with the person, warning, warning. And that's the problem a lot of people have in society. They think, oh, because he turns my fire and turns me on, we have to be together. Shit. I'd be happy with maybe one or two couple of good breakoffs. If you want to disappear after that, so be it. I'm just saying, me and my chubby atheist only had sex twice, and I'm so grateful for those 2 times. It's all good. If I never see him again, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Sometimes these exchanges will give you that Novocaine feeling. I remember when I was waiting for my chubby atheist at the Honolulu airport, and I was just waiting for him. I remember feeling this Novocaine, this numb Novocaine feeling all over from my nose down to my mouth, and it just felt numb. And I was like, is this what crack feels like? I've never taken crack before, you guys. I've never taken crack before, you guys, but I swear if I did, I think that's what crack would feel like. Like my whole nose and upper lip and lower lip was numb, and I had to do breathing exercises to calm down. It was crazy. But that was the excitement I had of waiting for him to come to me, because I had requested it. So know that these cosmic family jump-offs, which are not necessarily bloodline family, but they're cosmic etheric families that you had before you came out of your mother's vagina, before even your mother and father thought about creating you or did the act of creating you. You hear me? So when I say cosmic family jump off, these are etheric, deep, long, multi-level connections that give you the opportunity to exchange their energies with you within this low frequency, vibrational, holographic human world called life, called hell. Because the only way you're going to get to heaven is by tapping into yourself. And at Tantric Temple of Alchemy, we help you do just that. My name is High Priestess Ishra, and I am your Master of Ceremonies within Life Coach Healing. And we're here helping lives, one heart at a time. So, to round it up, you guys, you can have beautiful alchemaic marriages with your cosmic family jump-offs if you execute it the right way. And know that you can utilize them for healing. You can utilize them for moments of love. You can utilize them for moments of growth. You can utilize them for self-reflection and affirmation on how strong spirit and energy and the ethers and the cosmos can be. Because we are all just zodiac man trying to reach heaven. Connections must be faced, you guys, head on. And I feel as if a lot of people with this computer age, with this internet phenomena. I come from the beeper era. I'm old school. But my heart is as young as a 22-year-old. And this world is perpetuating, or I should say perpetuating, a connection of disconnection. People are not trying to get together. They're trying to separate. People are not trying to love on each other and build. They're so confused mentally within their mind and body that they are destroying every beautiful blessing that they get within this hell, within their opportunities of growth. And usually if you're dealing with a cosmic family jump off, you're going to be dealing with intense feelings, intense emotion, and that involves facing and experience something that may be uncomfortable, that may be different, that may be intense, that may be third eye, soul, orgasmic relay. You know what relay is? Like relay, like over and over, like that. That's the best way I can say it. It's more than a multi, orgasm. It's like a soul-gasm relay. It's like just stuck. So you guys, remember, there are many ways you can have sexual relations with someone. Don't allow these beautiful cosmic family jump-offs be set up or experienced to where you're upset about the situation, because 9 times out of 10, you were warned, you were shown, you were warned. I'm sorry, you guys, it's been, on this 11/11, it's been super windy and even sometimes rainy. I should say the 10th, it happened on the 10th. And it's still breezy and strong, like the wind is crazy right now. But again, Hawaii is definitely reflecting how I feel. Like, I feel like new birth has happened and still now approaching. So know that there will be discomfort. There will be moments where you just do not want to go any further. And I say push through. And I say realize that you have the strength to push through. You just have to know it and be it. Just know it and be it. Just know it and be it. My name is High Priestess Ishura, and this has been another Circle of Fire within my 3rd installment of my sexual interlude series, Cosmic Family Jump-Offs. They're actually a good thing if you approach them correctly. Love and blessings, lust and fire, and agony and bliss, if you will. Talk to you guys later, and I will see you in my next installment, which is installment number, this is 1, 2, 3, installment number 4. Later.